Hello, it's Sally Ann here. I've got another couple of pop-up cards to share with you today. I was experimenting, and I have to say I was completely inspired by, I can't remember her name, but a lady in Holland, one of her blogs, and I just experimented and thought, I could play around with that. And I created these two owl cards with a little see-through sort of hole that you gaze through. So these two cards are very similar but slightly different, as is my thing at the moment. I'm just kind of playing around with these pop-ups. So let's look at one at a time. This particular one was actually my first one, and I used some Sweet Treats paper, and I just thought this was really good because the paper's just got leaves on it, and I just cut this out for like a tree effect. So here we have an owl looking through its little home in a tree. This is I used a tree embossing folder, and on different papers it has different effects. This is more subtle, and so I put that on the top. I think this is a coordinations paper. It was a freebie from a magazine, so I thought I'd try and use it. I then used the flagpole decorative strip die to create the underneath, and then I used, I think this was part of a Spellbinders die, just to create the label sentiment on the top. And this was from a stamp set, again a freebie from a magazine, but I'll put the details on my blog. What is lovely when you open them is the inside, and again I use, this is authentic paper. It's, I think, Carefree. Again, I'll put the details on my blog. Flying by to say hi. That was a lawn fawn die, and I just thought was appropriate. And you can see that lovely hole just goes through the other side there, so you can see the little owl. And this is a Stampin' Up punch. It's a builder punch, and I just had real fun making these little owls. And then I used the Stampin' Up Builder Bird to add these branches and leaves, and some of them I sort of hand cut just to fit in to fill the space. The pop-up, as you can see, is the label one, and I cut a separate label and then used the love set to create the smaller label out of a piece of the same craft cardstock, and then just inked it with a little bit of vintage photo. Have a Hoot on Your Birthday is from the freebie set that I got in my magazine, but that sort of come up really quite well. And you know, for a little pop-up card, have a Hoot on Your Birthday, I thought that was lovely. So that was my first card, and then I thought, right, I'll have another go and make a different one, and I started obviously to play around it. This time I used die cuts with a view brown paper, and I don't know whether you can see, but the embossing is really quite deep, and it's kind of cut these interesting little, it almost looks as though it's cut through. It isn't, but it's just given it a very nice kind of deep edge, and I don't mind the fact that it's got a little bit of white. That's the core of the cardstock coming through there. Again, I used the same Sweet Treats paper, 12 by 12 pad, to add the tree, the leaves effect of the tree. These flourishes actually were off the Love set, the Sizzlets set, and I didn't really know what to do with them, so I had them. This is where, from the inner label, you cut them out at the same time. So I thought, I'll stick those on the outside to add a bit of dimension. This time I just hand cut like a little arrow flying by to say hi, so I thought I'd put that on the outside this time. And then on the inside, pretty similar, but again using the authentic papers, this time with butterflies. Previously I used, if you remember, the bees, but this time I thought I'd use the butterflies, because again, flying by is still relevant. And where I cut the edges using a bracket on the edge, Sizzix bracket on the edge die, I've just put the opposing pieces on the inside of the card to kind of give a little feature there. The owl, again, is made with a whole series of scraps of card. This is actually the reverse of some of the fly paper. So this beautiful sort of reddy kind of colour is actually the other side of this paper here. So I just use the remainder of that to make my label. A bit more craft. This is basil craft that I've used as stock. Then I used sort of a variety of scraps to make the little owl, the sort of Stampin' Up Punch, the owl and the Build-A-Bird to make the leaves and what have you on the inside. So again, similar but slightly to have a hoot on your birthday, about it again there. And just I thought I'd leave that little, I was going to cut that off, but I thought I might just leave that. I'll see how it goes. If it gets to be a nuisance, I can cut that edge off. But I just thought I'd leave it for now. And this is, as I said, craft, Basil Craft. I got sort of a pack of 25 sheets, which is really quite good. So there you have it, two hooting owls, I suppose. This one, by the way, is slightly larger. I decided not to use the base of the Pop-Ups die, which gives you this sort of kind of size and shape. I just decided to give the second one a more squarish kind of look. So yeah, another pair of pop-up cards. I seem to be having a run of these at the moment. I enjoy making them. And once you've kind of got an idea, and I say I was heavily inspired by this lovely lady in Holland from her blog, and I really can't remember who it was. But I just thought, well, I'd have a go. So I hope you like them, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.